Good morning, Heidi Foy here with Bullfrog Creatives, and you are watching live the NFR Hangover Show. Listen, we're all starting to feel the halfway point, and we're not even in Las Vegas. If you are tuning in this morning, you are either watching on Facebook on the Bullfrog Creatives page, the NFR Hangover page, but if you're not on any social media, congratulations, you win, and you can still watch us on YouTube. So before we launch into the stories that we're going to tell today, I want to give a shout out to Cinch Jeans and Shirts. They are working to keep us looking good all the time. We've talked about it. It's a dirty job. Somebody has to do it. So if you like what you see, I've been talking about this a lot during this broadcast. You like what you see and you want us to keep going and doing it, you can give us stars. And those stars, I'm not sure how, because I'm not as Facebook savvy as I probably should be, but they are essentially paying us because you like what you see. So stay tuned. Let's start this show. That song is more and more relevant the farther into the week we get. Hey, let's give a shout out to one of our partners, Williams Studio. They are a mom and pop shop, authentic Western and animal artist. You can find them in Las Vegas right now at Resorts World, and they are at the Makers Market. So y'all hit up Cowboy Christmas, go to the Makers Market too, because there's tons of great stuff. And if you get a chance to talk to Con and Sharon, hey, tell them that we sent you. I think maybe it would help you. All right, let's add the boys in, see what's going on. Good morning.
Good morning, Heidi. Jim Boy, how are you guys this morning?
Wake up, Jim.
What day is the day?
Yeah, we're at halftime, you guys. We are at halftime, halfway point. I mean, world title races are starting to take shape. Average races are taking shape. And there's probably a lot of people that have got the Vegas crud by now because they've been there for about 8, 9, 10 days already, contestants and helpers and everything else that goes on there in Vegas. And there's probably a lot of contestants that have won money at the finals that their significant other just spend at the Cowboy Christmas. I know from experience.
That would be me. That's why I can never go.
But yeah, we are clicking in. I mean, we're in halftime now. Tonight starts the back half of the finals, round number 6. And boy, there's a lot of shakeup in a few events last night. Coming into round 5, a lot of stuff was playing out into some guys' favor, but the steer wrestling was the biggest shakeup, I think, last night.
I feel like the tie-down roping was a little rough on them boys too.
It was rough, but Caleb Schmidt held par. He places again. He gets another check. He's got a 5-second lead. I'm jumping ahead, but he held serve. Big news in the team roping, and it's not really going to affect the world standing race as of right now. But Junior and Caleb Drigger's taking no time, and a weird one too. I mean, you've seen heel horses step in it, but it's never with their right foot. It was just kind of an odd deal. The big shakeup was in the steer wrestling. So Stetson Jorgensen, like we saw in round number 4, had to actually get in a literal wrestling match. It's like he almost needed a tag team partner to tag in to throw that steer. That steer, he slipped an inside horn when he went to the nose, and had to manhandle him, throw him. He was 21 seconds. He dropped to 9th or 10th in the average. Hunter Cure wins round 4. He's projected to win the world because he's winning the average. And then last night, not 1, 2, but 3 guys in front of Stetson go out of the average. You have Dakota Eldridge, you have Tristan Martin, and then Hunter Cure takes it no time. Stetson places again, and wow, boom, he's back in the lead for the world. I mean, like they say, a lot of weird things happen in round 5 and round 9, and weird stuff happened last night. So
yeah, for sure. You guys want to talk? You want to introduce the round winner last night for our fantasy league?
Yeah, let's do it.
So this one was really close. Amy Reed, her team, MK Green, is the one that won last night. Super close. I think her and the next person was my dad, within like $2,000. And unfortunately, lesson learned, buy the insurance or whatever if one of your people gets hurt, because Jerry had Reed in the bull riding, and so he'll be out the rest of the week. He won't be able to get any money. So valuable lesson. Always pay for that. Tony, did you
I actually lost money.
What's that?
I actually lost money. I had J.R. Stratford won that round, and I've had the premium, so it moved up to Trey Holston, and Trey hasn't won any money yet.
Oh, jeez.
Well, it's there's plenty of rodeo left. But
It automatically, it just automatically picks the next person.
Yeah, it goes up. If you buy the premium, it goes up. If you buy the regular insurance, it goes down. If you don't buy insurance, that's
you're out that position.
Well,
but
Now, does his funds still count?
Do what?
Like, since you had to switch, does his money still count for the rest of the week?
No, I lost. I think I lost that money, and now I'm to zero in the bull riding on that team.
Well, that stinks.
I'll have to look and see here.
Well, I think you keep the money he won up to that point, but moving forward, you get the guy he rolls up to, I believe. But no, I buy insurance. I figure if I got to drive with it, live with it, and have it for health, I might as well have it on my pro fantasy team, But yeah, last night, I tell you what, I'm starting to think my round win was a fluke because last night, where was I at? Let me look here. I was 17th in our league of 21. I was ahead of my daughter, so that was good. But Heidi, you beat me by 2. Jim Boy, you beat me by quite a bit. And I dropped to 11th in the average of our 21-team league. I tell you what, though, it's
right at 17.
It's pretty cool, and I was. Good thing there was no cameras on me last night because I was, after my bareback rider and my saddle bronc rider, I hollered at the screen, what the heck do you want out of me or out of my rough stock riders? Because I can't seem to get them to get marked. But
who do you have?
I've got Clayton Bigelow, and he's made some good rides. Just hasn't had, he's won second in one round, hasn't, and I know a lot of it's with the draw. Wyatt Casper in the saddle bronc riding, I don't know. I think, hey, man, I'm not there, not seeing it live on television. I think because I have a vested interest of him being on my team, I think his rides are worth a lot more than maybe they are. And then Kai gets bucked off last night, and I think he deserved a re-ride. He should have got to get on one until he gets a score. That's just how I feel about my bull rider. But I tell you what, in my pro fantasy league, I've got to give a shout out to my wife because our team roping team has kept us in the game, and our tie down roper, and our team roping team was picked solely on the fact that Patrick Smith's 2 kids are in her class at White Horse Christian Academy, and Riley Webb is a graduate of White Horse Christian Academy where she's teaching, and that was her. We're picking White Horse people. I'm like, you know what? You've spoken, honey. I agree. Perfect. So big shout out to White Horse Christian Academy here in Stephenville, Texas, because they're the reason that I am actually doing good in pro fantasy rodeo.
Well, I'm going to pull this up, and we can take a look at our teams.
Guy Smith he's got the lead right now in our fantasy group with 397,000. Oh, then Mike Perry with Cowboy up, they're second. But see, Guy's got him a $27,000 lead right there.
Yeah.
But the way I look at it, my team's built for the back half of the finals, built for the average. I'm still good in the bareback riding. I've got everything covered in my rough stock events except the bulls. We're down 2 bulls, and my steer wrestler took a no time last night, so that might hurt us in the end. But CJ Aragon with Cujo's Cowboys, he's sitting in 3rd, and I want to give a shout out. I know you guys do too. We needed 10 teams to qualify for the Pro Fantasy League buckle, and we've got 21 teams. So everybody that bought a team in our league greatly appreciate it because it's made this fun. And
I'll tell you, we have more than just me have a team in. We have more rookies in our league than normal. I'm not the only rookie. Jeez, words are hard today.
No,
so I think a lot of people saw that we had that post out, join our league, and did it for the first time this year. So I think that's cool too.
Well, and what's really cool is I have a buddy of mine that's got a little buckle company, and he contacted me, goes, hey, next year we get ahead of the game, he'll make buckles, or and he'll do it as part of a sponsorship for go round winners. That'd be pretty cool. Like I say, I'm having one made, but it's going to be a Montana Silversmith, kind of a world champion replica. It says go round 3 pro fantasy NFR Hangover League champion. But
well, so the other thing, I think I'm gonna try to have NFR Hangover embroidered on the cinch hat.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That way everybody remembers us. It's hard to forget us.
No, yes, it is. Oh, but yeah, I mean, we've got it's really cool that we were able to get 21 teams. I'm in another league; they got 10 or 11, and it's fun. This whole pro fantasy deal is fun because, like I say, I'm swearing my bareback rider deserves more points every night, my saddle bronc rider, but I have a vested interest in being a timed event guy. You know, the last time I was this vested in rough stock is when I was coaching a college rodeo because, there's pictures of me at the college finals where I'm hanging over the chutes going jump for jump, and I about fall inside the arena, and then I'd have got fined by Roger, and it just would have been ugly. They'd had to stretcher me out. Oh, like the time I think I tore my quad having a dance-off with Rumford there at the college finals. So,
what? Is that true?
No, I didn't tear my quad, but I did have a dance-off with him twice.
And it was awesome.
Yeah, the first time I make a comment in our production meeting at the first one. It's like, hey, yeah, it's Santa Maria Rodeo. Justin was there for the kids. We had the kids rodeo where we bring all the school kids, and I'm out there and they're playing music, and I'm sitting there bobbing my head along. And Wayne Brooks is like, oh, look, Tony and Justin should dance off, and we're laughing. Well, Jim Dewey and Roger think it's a great idea, and we do it one perf, and it was fun. The next perf we do it, and we're at whatever song they're playing. And all of a sudden they're playing "Let's Get It On," and Rumford's taking off his baggies and stuff, and I'm just like, I throw my hands in the air like I'm out. This is not fun anymore. But pro fantasy has taken rodeo from a spectator sport to where you have a vested interest, and like I say, everybody.
You know what's funny? I mean, I think rodeo fans and alike have been kind of doing something similar to this because I remember the year. I think it was 2000 that I qualified in the barrel racing to the CNFR. And the Friday night, my family was up in the crowd, and they were like draw names, and were winning money off the kids. And it was like, I mean, there was pennies, like they would buy somebody for a penny or whatever, and then they would do that. So I think it just kind of amplified what some people had already been doing at a smaller scale.
Well, I mean, hey, the last time I was at the college finals in 2018, Justin Hampton and I were sitting there pulling the barrier in the team rope, and we're playing under over with teams. I mean, when you run that much slack, you got to do something or you get numb to it, So it wasn't very coaching professional of us. We're going under over on teams as they're going in the box, but it just adds that element to where you get vested just a little bit. And Casey Jones and Gail, they've done a great job of bringing this to the fans. And I mean, the daily games, Jim Boy, how are you doing in the daily games? I haven't played one of those yet.
No, I haven't won anything yet. I'm gonna have a talk with some of my team people.
Well, I think, and I'm going to enter the back half 5 game tonight. The back half 5.
How much does that cost?
I think it's 50 something. I can tell you right now. Let's go to games.
It's cheaper if you bought a big team.
Right. I think you get $10 off. Final 5. Oh, let's see here.
Here, do you want me to pull it up?
It's been kind of neat. Like last night, Jayton bought a team, or Jayton picked out a team, and I picked out a team. So we was talking smack to each other throughout the night. And, neither one of us ended up, winning anything. But I'll tell you one thing that's kind of cool, looking at some of the teams on our deal here, is Guy Smith. I'm guessing that's Guy Smith that used to coach at Altus.
Yeah, I would. Yes.
I'm going to bet that's him. And then, how do I get back to my.
Here, I've got it up. Jim, you can look here.
That's too little.
Okay, let me see.
I've got it here, but anyhow, shit. The Hardy and Darnell Wilkerson, that's Hardy Gordon. He's one of the guys that taught me how to bulldog long ago. He's one of the guys that there the first day I caught a steer off my horse, and then Another one that jumps out at me. We'll go way down there, like way. Jared.
Oh, you mean down here where I am?
Yeah, Jared Ford. Yeah. Yeah, he's a new coach. He's coaching over at Dodge City. He's only been there a couple years. He's going to have to do a better job recruiting.
Well, then you got a former coach right above him there, old Greg Kernick. He's sitting there 19th. Our buddy Greg.
Well, you know, he's still, you know, he lives in Texas now, so he knows it all.
Hey, what are you saying? I'm going to get smarter since I moved here, Jim Boy? Yes.
Well, you may not get smarter if you're going to tell everybody you are.
Oh,
All right.
oh.
You can tell Texans, you just can't tell them much.
Oh, you got to be a legend in your own mind first. Come on. Oh, my goodness. Oh.
And we're done.
And let's talk about the rodeo round 5 last night, bareback riding. RC Lanning
kind of a quiet rodeo. I mean, I sat there last night and I didn't have many notes to begin with, and I thought, man, I'm gonna have to just make something up. So I don't know, you know, like they started out, J.R. Stratford was injured, broke his ankle, and so you know, you heard it here first. He was driving to the hospital to get an X-ray, and he drove his pickup off in the ponds at the Bellagio. So,
Whoops.
What? Well,
I'm making that up, but if you kind of know the backstory about JR driving things off in ponds,
was that the golf cart incident at Guthrie? I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I had a friend text me and said, "Interesting. They're missing a bull rider tonight. I wonder if they've looked in the ponds at the Bellagio."
Oh, that's good right there. That is good.
Before we get too far into the events, the opening, of course, I'm a big Chancey Williams fan, just mainly because I grew up with him.
And
so,
you're gonna have him on the show.
Yeah.
I'm working on it. I even texted him yesterday. I'm like, dude, Jim Boy's calling you out on the show. Of course, I'm sure he was busy, and I'm sure he's not feeling great this morning either. But I've been texting him. I'll get on some other platforms, and he can't ignore me everywhere. I guess he can.
You're omnipresent. You're everywhere. You'll get a hold of him. Oh.
But that's one of my favorite songs of his, and I think they did a good job. They always do a good job when they perform.
Hey, they did a great job, but I liked that he wasn't wearing skinny jeans. He wasn't, singing "Shake It for Me." Now that was one of the funniest comments I got when Luke Bryan, opened the show. He didn't play "Shake It for Me." He played whatever song he did. Somebody texted me, the only Luke that can shake it in Thomas and Mack is Branquinho, and that was what somebody. I'm like, don't make my brother's head any bigger than it is.
Right.
But
hey, I will tell you, and I think he talked about this when he was on outside the arena outside the barrel yesterday with Flint. He was invited to the Grand Ole Opry, so I think he's going to be there in March, is what I heard.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I just think that's cool. It's nice to see, I don't know. I'm sure everybody starts out authentic, but it's nice to see like a hometown cowboy starting to show
I thought
up.
you were saying Luke got invited to Grand Ole Opry.
Oh, yeah. Unless they're going to have him up there playing bongos or something, I don't think he's playing much at the Grand Ole Opry. Unless there's a lip syncing contest, and he'd be behind on the timing for that. Hey, what I want to know is how many bottles of Ace did they use before the grand entry last night for all them horses? Because they looked all pretty subdued. And I think they might have given a few shots of Ace to the hazing horses because, man, it was tough last night in the hazing side. Whew.
Pretty chill.
All right, let's go bareback riding. RC Lanningham, 90.5 points on Top Notch Pickett Pro Rodeo. Jess Pope placing in every round, wins second last night, 88 points. Tim O'Connell, 87.5. Leighton Berry, 87.5. They split third and fourth. Rocker Steiner pulls his first check, 86.5. Splits fifth and sixth with Cole Franks. So those are your top six in the go round. Average Joe is Jess Pope, but I mean, 5 points ahead right now. Jess has got a first, 2 seconds, a fourth, and then a fourth, fifth, sixth split. He's placed on every horse. The lowest he's been. Here's the funny deal. The round he won was his lowest score, 86.5 in round number 3.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's just that pin of horses, but he wins that round with 86.5. RC's jumped up to second in the average at 90.5 point ride. He's 427 to Jess's 432. Tim O'Connell's sitting in third. Cole Reiner is fourth. Fifth is Casey Fields. Cole Frank is sixth. And Clayton Bigelow seventh. And Rocker Steiner rounds out your top 8. And, Rocker went old school last night. He went with the Sid Steiner cornrows, throwing it back nostalgic to 2002, 2003. And, one thing I will give Rocker is he's not going to change his stripes. He is who he is, and he's flamboyant, and he's going to keep being him. And he made a pretty decent ride last night, and we'll just see how he's in the back half of his first finals now. And I don't know. Those guys have got to be getting sore, especially in the bareback riding and bull riding. Jim Boy, you've got a little better inside track on that.
Well, Warren didn't get on, did he?
What's that?
Warren Larson, he was out last night for a few rounds.
Yep, he's out for a couple rounds. He's injured. So he missed last night. He's got to miss tonight. But also these guys, this isn't the rodeo of the 90s, even early 2000s. These guys are treating themselves like professional athletes. So they're putting time in the gym, recovery, but still getting on 5 head of the baddest bareback horses in the world in 5 nights. It takes its toll on even the most physically fit athlete. And so now they're coming into the back half, and this is where your preparation, your training, it's got to meet up with your grit and your will to win. And we're going to see these guys have got to be getting sore, but tonight they start the back half. They're still $30,000 up per round. That's $150,000 in go round money plus a $70,000 payday at the end. There's still a lot of money out there, but Jess Pope has just been riding lights out, and he's got the inside track to be your world champion for sure.
And he has a picket horse tonight, so that's just gravy for him right there. Especially in this round. When you get a picket horse in the nice round,
Yeah. So, like I mentioned earlier. Oh, go ahead, Heidi.
I was just going to ask. We talked a little bit earlier about the pins for the steer wrestling and the tie down, like how often they go. Is the rough back similar, or will they only buck once? How does that work?
There's 5 pins. They go twice. They're starting back with the first pin out. The first go round is back tonight.
Okay.
And I can't tell you, there's the starting out. Just these are kind of the medium. They're pretty good. They're not supposed to be just ranked. It's supposed to be just a good starting out pin, and then you get the semi-eliminator, the eliminator, and then you get the really nice souped up hoppers or whatever, and then the TV pin. Whatever.
The TV pin will be the 10th round again.
Yeah.
So Jim Boy and
the bareback is different from the saddle bronc. They're not the same each night. I think they used to kind of set the same, but a few years ago, one of them changed up how they wanted what pin what night.
How the pins rotate through there.
Yeah.
I've noticed in the past when I would go down and break down each rounds on my spoiler alert deal was, and they may pull a horse from one pin and rotate them to another one where they fit better. And for
the second half.
For the second half, they may fit better in a pin that went out. If from a semi-eliminator, they might put them in the eliminator pin or vice versa. But
it's kind of like Virgil last night was in the TV pin, and I'm pretty sure he's been in the eliminator pin the last few years. And them guys kind of got to where, they're like, is he really eliminator, or should he be more the TV pin? Is he, So you put him in the TV pin last night, and he looks pretty eliminator-ish. Dylan Hooper was glad to be off of him, So.
Yeah, he was glad that it was done. But like you say, and maybe they felt he didn't fit the eliminator pin. Like I said, they're thinking, hey, he might fit this TV pin. And then all of a sudden you put him in the TV pin where he goes with those other horses. He's like, nope, he goes back to the eliminator pin.
Well, so the other thing I was talking to another person about that messaged me is how long do the rough stock animals Like they don't just run them in right before they go. So how long are they sitting in those chutes?
They're in them lead up pens out back for a while. I mean, the rodeo starts at 6 o'clock out there, 5:45, 6 o'clock. So I'm gonna say, sure enough, by 4 o'clock, they're probably running them up there. They're starting, because there's a process. But
so those bareback horses could be in there for an hour.
Well, they won't be standing in the chutes. They'll be
like in the pins in the back.
Have you seen them guys when they're walking up before the rodeo and they might be interviewing them and the horse will be standing in a little pen?
Yeah,
well, that's the alley that the barrel racers come down.
Okay.
They're coming down in there. You see where the barrel racers come running out. That's where the tractor go down through there to work and whatnot. But the bareback horses will be in that alley that that's where all the stock comes to the building. Well, I'm not sure. How do they get the tournament stock in? Do they go around the outside?
I think they go around the outside. Honestly, I think they go on the outside and they come back up the backside there.
They come around and up the backside, but they used to come down because they used to not have a backside.
No, and I remember the day when the team ropers they had that lane on the heeler side. The team ropers, Italian ropers would line up, coming around there.
Yeah.
So do you guys think that comes into play if those horses have to, I mean, not in those pins, but once they get them in?
Once they get inside, they're in there for the opening. All of the opening, they're in there. And what's the big gray Franz and horse? Craig at Midnight.
Yeah.
You remember a year or two ago, I was talking on here how they didn't like him, at his regular rodeos throughout the summer. They load him and buck him. And there, if one of the first guys out has him drawn, then he's in there pretty early for all the pyro and laser lights and everything. And he didn't like being in there that long, so he wasn't as good. He might be a little harder to get out on, and then he's just not as good.
And then you can probably answer this too, especially in the bareback riding. I'll tell you where this conversation came from. It didn't seem like Two-Buck Chuck bucked or had his best performance. And so my dad and I were talking about like reasons why, or potentially could be why. When do they put their riggins on? I mean, they don't tighten them until they're in the chute, right? But
yeah, they don't.
They're on.
They won't pull them like you'll be pulling whatever's. I can't remember what's right before the first bareback rider, but
the grand. I mean, is the contestants ride out? They're getting ready,
leaving, but. It's hard. I can't really tell you about the very first guy out, but once that very first guy out, Tom Newens is the chute boss. He's the head chute boss, and they have a buck order. And I'm going to say the fourth or fifth guy hasn't even started pulling until the first guy is going.
Okay.
That's when they'll start pulling because it can be a little bit of a process. Some of them horses will stand there and some won't, but they'll have guys that help them pull.
Yeah. Two-Buck Chuck just wanted to be out on the salt flats. He didn't want to be in the confines of the Thomas and Mack. And I think it's like you said, Jim Boy, he did not like Casey Fields' iron at all. He's like, nope, I'm done.
And Heidi was asking me about that the other day in the middle of the afternoon. She goes, what do you mean by that? And some guy, Casey Field, people don't understand. People, through the years have been, why they let Casey win so much? Well, unless you're a judge standing there on the arena floor and you feel Casey piss pounding one when he goes by you, I mean, there's a difference. There's a difference in what Rocker was doing the first few rounds, and I'm sure his ankles are still a little sore. He's going to have to overcome a deal there, but there's a difference. When Casey Field sets his feet, they're going to feel it.
Like I said, there's a look, there's a feel, and you can hear it on the floor. You hear when those feet hit up there and come back to that rigging, and it's not just going through the motions.
So I just want to break it down. I am going to assume that we're getting some new rodeo fans to watch us. So when you say set your feet, that's when the cowboy reaches forward with his spurs and rakes back up. Like that portion right there is the set your feet.
Yeah. Boom.
Okay. So not everybody is going to do the same. So when we watch it on TV, especially on TV, because you can't hear it or feel it, like you just can't, you're not there. you can't really understand or get the grip of how hard that actually happens and how much power is in some of those guys' legs.
Here's something else. When Casey sets his feet, they're going to be up here in the top of the main line. When them guys spur over their necks, they're trying to set them high. You get more points for setting them up here. Yeah, you're supposed to set them above the break of the shoulder. There's a difference in setting them up here where Jess Pope sets them and getting some drag and setting them back. There's a difference in that and setting them kind of here with the toe up and then flying backwards just because that's different from boom, boom, you know.
Gotcha.
And them judges are trained, they've seen enough throughout the years, and I've even on the Bareback Riders Only page on Facebook, and there's a lot of knowledge in there. There's some that's not knowledgeable, but and there's a lot that say stuff, and there's a lot that stay quiet. But there's a comment that they feel like the judging has been just as good this year, and you haven't seen the people complaining about maybe, you know, a lot of the winning positions being out of order. And I think they're, you know, the judging has been pretty good. It might not be totally what we think it is sitting here watching, but I said about stalling one out. You know, some horses, if you don't set your feet and get a hold, they'll take a little run or they won't be as good. When them horses stack up, they call it stacking up, where they go up there and they stop and stay right there, and they don't cover much ground and they don't get to the fences. That's stalling one out, and that's doing. And a lot of them horses, that's their trip anyhow. But I guarantee you can make a difference.
The rider can set it up, and like you were saying, you know, back to set, you know, setting their feet up there, you know, at the main line and really dragging them, and like they were talking about Rocker, and I went back and watched a few of his rides. He's riding good, but his toes aren't turned out as much as Casey or Jess Pope's, and a lot of that's probably with the ankle issues. I mean, like I say, you're going to be a little sore after coming off ankle surgery, and you see guys with fast feet, but if they're not turned out, they're not up there high, they're moving fast, but it's not really setting up the rhythm of that ride and really just putting it all together. So.
Well, I think that's good for people to know. I knew that toes were supposed to be out, but I didn't know where in, you know, on the neck, above the shoulder for sure. So I think that's helpful.
And for some youngsters out there, or any parents that they're trying to get your kids started, it's not just hitting them with the spur, and my thumb is their toe sticking out. Gotcha. It's not just hitting them with their spur, because you think, oh, you got your spur. Well, then, I mean, you put your calf into them too. That'll help a little bit too. You know, it's kind of cheating a little bit, not cheating, but it's helping you. You know, I think too many beginners don't realize some things to help them out. I mean, there's a lot to it, and if a kid's out there just starting out, go to a clinic. I mean, don't.
Speaking of clinics.
Hey,
listen, speaking of clinics, if you guys know anybody that is interested, there's going to be a bareback and saddle bronc riding clinic. And I think just from the last conversation, you can tell that Jim Boy brings a lot of knowledge.
All I do is organize it. I get guys who know what they're talking about to teach.
Yeah, but
you're not getting on the spurboard for them, Jim Boy.
Yeah.
No, I just kind of organize it and keep it rolling. I'm the guy that everybody was talking. I seen somebody talking on Facebook this morning about the shoot boss. That guy needs to just shut up and leave him alone. And this is the best rodeo of the year, and let them take their time. And no, there's a production aspect. And I don't care if it's the NFL, the NFR.
Yeah.
I upset a parent at our junior state finals. I mean, I had some parents pretty upset with me. I'm like, you know, the judge was telling me to slow down. I'm like, you mark the scores and I'll worry about this over here. And
I'll run the rodeo. You mark the scores.
Yeah. But,
so Jim Boy, answer some questions about this clinic coming up. January 28th and 29th. How many kids do you guys usually take?
Oh, 25 or 30 or so. Okay. I've had up to 40, but this year I'm making them send me an application. I'm kind of getting tired of guys showing up. I mean, I had a guy call me a year or two ago, and I said, "Which event you interested in?" "Oh, I don't know. What do you think?" I'm like, "Well, you called me." You know? I'm like, tell me your dimensions. He told me his height and weight. I said, you're not going to be a bareback rider. No, you'll die. And so I mean, but it's truly beginner horses. We're not just doing this as a colt bucking. It's beginner horses. And Court Shear is generally my saddle bronc instructor. We started that school in 2006 when he was here. Him and Casey Coletti and Tyler Scales were riding bareback horses here, and that was the first year we started it. And we've just kept it going. We took 1 year off and had some guys say, you need to keep doing that school. It's pretty good. Not really sure who my bareback rider instructor will be right now. We've used like Justin Paul Miller, a kid that went to school here, made the college finals, has done well. Logan Patterson, who's been close to the NFR. I've talked to Keenan Hayes, who won the rookie deal this year, about coming. I mentioned it to Jess because he picked up broncs at our college rodeo at Alvin. He's like, why don't you use me for your school anymore? And I said, well, come on. I said, because you recruit for the enemy. I want you coming and telling Coach Ken Mason about all the good kids I had in here.
You recruit for the enemy.
I love it.
Well, before we get too much farther, let's do our midway commercial here. Want to give a shout out to CeeLo Cinches. They are located in South Dakota, but you can find them online, believe it or not. Check out Facebook. If you don't have all your Christmas shopping done, this is a great alternative for that horse person in your life. It is handmade. They can be custom made, or I believe she has some in stock that you can choose from. Mohair cinches and breast collars. So CeeLo Cinches, thank you so much for your partnership. Okay.
Speaking of bronc school, real quick, I want to go back to it. So Jess Pope, he came to the school 1 year at when the high school finals was at Guthrie that year, Tony.
Yeah.
I think 7 of the 20 bronc riders in the short go had been through this clinic here. Now, I'm not going to say they had never been to Etbowers or State Smith School or anywhere else, but 7 of the 20 bronc riders in the short go had been through our clinic. Jess Pope, he actually used to ride saddle bronc horses too at high school, and when he first went to college, he might have gave it up when to college, but he actually got on H10 Pretty Woman when I still had her here under a bronc saddle, and he didn't fare well. I said, hey, I got a young horse, and he was pretty talented. He's doing pretty good in high school rodeo. I said, I don't want to kill you off, so I don't want to put you on with a rigging. I said, I'll let you get on with the bronc saddle if you want to try her. I need to get a video. And she made pretty short work of him. So I think it would be neat when that eliminator pin comes back around the barrack ride, and if he draws her and can win around on her, I think that'd be cool.
Redemption for him, redemption on her.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good stuff. Well, I know as a former college rodeo coach, is someone that goes to the high school rodeos with his daughters and sees the rough stock. Mm-hmm. What you guys put on and provide for these kids, it's much needed and much appreciated because, we know bareback riding is the one event where numbers are low, and if these kids don't have a great foundation to start with, they kill themselves off, for lack of a better term, because they don't know what they're doing. They get hurt and they get scared. And so what you guys are doing, Jim Boy, is pretty awesome. And the price of $300, that's nothing in today's day and age to go learn on some of the best stock available and from some of the best people to teach them. So yeah, that's awesome.
All right. What haven't we talked about?
Well, the steer wrestling. Go ahead.
Well, let's say Ty Erickson, gets off the snide, 3-9 last night, wins around. Big Will Loomis comes back 4 flat. Stetson Jorgensen, who after going 21 plus on his 4th round steer, getting in a literal wrestling match with him, dropping him to 9th in the average, taking him out of the projected world title picture to be the champion, comes back. He's 4 flat, split 2nd and 3rd with Will. Wegas Pack's 4-3, Kyle Irwin's 4-3, and then Jess Brown wins last holes 4-4. But the big news was in the average, because you had Tristan Martin, Dakota Eldridge, and then Hunter Keir, who was winning the average, projected to win the world. He'd won 2 rounds and misses the inside horn, loses that steer, and then Dakota takes it all time. And then Tristan Martin, there's 3 that were above Stetson. They go out of the average. Stetson now, he's 6th in the average. He's placed on 3 steers. His grit and determination on that one steer, he's 12 seconds out of 4th. He's 7 seconds out of 5th. But that 6th place check holding Pat right now projects him as your world champion. So his just being cowboy tough and not giving up, he gave himself a shot where, I'm not saying a lot of guys in the top 15, but a lot of guys at a rodeo are just going to, the steer's getting away. They're getting manhandled by him. They're going to let him go. But what I noticed last night, and Joe brought it up on the telecast quite a bit, is, you got some of the best hazers in the world, and his steers are flat beating them out. I did hear Joe say some of the best hazing horses are hurt. The ones that usually haze on there at the finals are hurt. They're out. And Joe made a good point. And I guess I knew this because my brother is a steer wrestler, and I watched a ton of bulldogging and steer wrestling go on. But your hazing horse has got to be faster than the bulldogging horse. You've got to be able to get out there and beat him to that spot and hold that steer. And these steers are splitting the gates, and it just looks like, you saw it with Tristan. You saw it with a few guys. Those steers are just getting a step on their hazer, and these guys are committed because they don't have a lot of room to run over there and get it. Who was it last night, Jim Boy? Do you remember? There was one steer wrestler that I think he threw the steer, and the hazer came trotting by afterwards and high-fived him because he was so far behind the run.
You're talking about the guy that ran him off over there and hazer wasn't there and he caught him?
Yeah, he throws him, and I think, like I said, the hazer trots by and they high-five because the hazer gets by after the run.
That was Nick Guy. He was on my nightly team last night. I picked him. And
yeah, he was 6'6". A lot of guys can't get that done because,
that was impressive.
He used the right fence of the Thomas and Mack as his hazer right there, essentially.
That horse did a hell of a job of getting over, and it's a wonder he didn't crash and roll through the bucking chutes.
Yeah,
tell me your opinion on should Dakota Eldridge have got a flag?
You know what? Boy, you watch it in slow motion, yeah, but in real time, no, because it happened bam, bam, and you're talking to a guy that had a vested interest in one that flew out of his arms. He touched him in slow motion. It cost my brother a world title, but when it happens bang, bang.
Well, and when they showed it in slow motion, that one leg finally started popping out.
But he'd already
lay on their side with all 4 feet sticking out in the same direction. And I don't think a judge is going to make them, they don't, but they have to be out.
They got to be out. That leg was tucked up underneath right there. And
I think it was starting to come out as he was turning them loose. It was just too close. My wife Jessica's like, he should have got a flag. I'm like, if you're the guy flagging, it'd be pretty tough to give it to him.
Yeah, well, we all know that just can open a whole can of worms. And not to segue into the team roping, but I think that's what opened the can of worms with Jake Long, is they gave him that round 2 shot for the crossfire. Then they call him out in round 4. But by letting the first one go, you're thinking, and that, like I said, that's the next thing to talk about. But I think if they give Dakota that call, then, the next one, if you don't give it to him, it just opens Pandora's box, and it's not. Those judges are under such a microscope there in all the events, and it's happening. Yeah, it's easy for the 3 of us or everybody watching. The Cowboy Channel plays it over and over in slow motion. We can go back, rewind it ourselves, and I can mark and flag every event perfect from my couch because I've got the ability to watch it over and over. These guys, it's real time, it's happening, and it's a judgment call. It's like anything else. It's like they say in the NFL, those officials can call holding on every offensive play. It's what they see and where they're at the time. And I thought they made the right call as much as Dakota's a great guy. He is a true warrior in the arena. But like I say, it's a judgment call, and I think they got it right last night.
Yeah.
If that cost me my Rodeo Quincy 10% off discount, I'm going to be upset because his wife was one of my former students when I was a coach at Cal Poly, so I got a good relationship with him. And I still have a bone to pick with Dakota. He cheated in the softball game at the college finals. He's the only guy I know that batted every third person for his team.
You're not bitter.
Never. No.
There's no cheating that takes place at that game.
No, not at all. I think the year the West Coast Region won, I'm not even sure we played.
There's no hard feelings that comes out of that game.
Here's a good question for you guys. So first and foremost, where is the flagger for the team roping at?
They're in the corner by the healer's box, kind of back over there, where the healers so it'd be the bottom if you're facing the arena. If you're facing from the bucket shoes down the time event in, it's going to be the bottom left-hand corner.
Okay.
Is
there a better place?
I don't know if Trevin was able to watch yesterday when Coleman explained. They're supposed to have a system in place where there's a guy on the wall, the left wall down there to help the flagger. And then I guess a guy standing on the line, but them guys that stand on the line were running for their lives. I went back and watched that video.
Yeah, because those headers are coming over the top of them. They're trying to get out of the way.
Yeah.
So that arena is, Trevin, that arena is not set up for the flagger to be in an optimal position because there's no room. So they're kind of behind the play over there and behind the play, and they can't get out and around, and it's hard for them to see that run finish. But at the same time, the way the rules explained yesterday, everybody's saying, well, the steer was in forward momentum when he caught it. But the rule reads you can't deliver the rope till the steer switches and starts forward momentum. So when was his delivery? When do you consider the delivery started? So that is such a tough judgment call. There is technology that could help them out, and eventually we'll get there. But to answer your question, I don't think there's a better spot for the flagger to sit at all.
Maybe the right, Dad, down there on that gate that he opens.
Yeah, hey, that's his spot. He's been there. He's watching his grandkids and win check after check after check. But now that we're talking about the team roping, big news last night. Caleb Driggers, Junior Negata. I mean, Caleb kind of missed. I don't want to say you want to miss the area. That steer kind of split the gates and went. Caleb runs in there, snaps it on. Junior just rolls around. They're going to go be 5'9", probably win a check in the round. And Junior's horse steps in it, but it wasn't even his left foot as the curl came around. It was his right foot. It was just a freak deal. Takes them out of the average. And so that right there, average-wise in the team roping, there are two teams left in the average that have all the cattle caught. Tanner Thompson and Patrick Smith, and they placed again last night with a 4-9. They were fourth round. And our man Coleman Proctor, he splits around last night. Coleman and Logan split it with Clay Tryon and Jake Corkill. They're 3-8 last night, but they are winning second in the average. They've got 5 down. But now Andrew Ward and Buddy Hawkins, last year's average champions, who took a no time for the first time in 14 steers at the finals the night before, whipping it, popping it off one's horns. They moved up to third in the average. Junior D's moved up to fourth. Caleb and Junior Negata are fifth, and sixth are the Minor brothers. That's all on 4 head, and then 7th and 8th, which are checks in the average, are down to 3 steers right now. So the go round last night, like I say, it was split. It was a good team roping. Coleman and Logan, one of the first teams out, 3-8. Tryon and Corkill 3-8. Dustin Agaskis and Travis Gase twice have blitzed steers. They have blitzed runs, been 3-9, and have won second or third. I mean, it's just. They're kind of getting tapped off, and that's a team with 5 rounds left. You get Dustin and Travis tapped off, they're going to win a lot of money. But then it's NFR rookie Tanner Thompson and the veteran Patrick Smith, your 2-time world champion, cashing a check again last night with a 4-9. Warden Hawkins just run one down, make a good run. And I say run one down, they're 5'2". I mean, I can't be 5'2" in the practice but if you put my head rope on in the chute right now. And they get a check, and then the Minor brothers get a check at 5'4". But then after that, it goes, Clay Smith, Jake Long, they get a leg. So there was only 6 clean runs last night. Projected world champion is still Driggers and Negata. Those guys are just on such a level. It takes something freaky like his horse's right foot stepping in it for them to get a no time.
Okay. Take a breather. I have questions.
Okay.
I want to know why. I feel like you could talk for an hour solid. It's so impressive. And I don't know where you take a breath because I can't get in.
And here comes Bradley Baxter.
Yeah,
well, it's an auctioneering.
So,
well, you told me we were on a time frame or time.
We are, but I have questions.
Yes,
Tell
okay.
us, collectively, our crowd, why is it so weird that the right foot got stuck in the heel loop?
Well, usually when that heel horse comes in and they're stopping and that left foot's out in front and the curl comes through, the rope comes through, that curl comes around to the left side, and that's the one the horse will step in. you know. But if you watch that run last night, as Junior came in there, he got a little tight. He set it down there, and it's almost like his horse took just almost a stutter step, and his right foot just stepped in it. I mean, it was just a freak deal. When you have a front foot coming when you're heeling, like I say, your horse is stopping. That left foot is kind of because they're on that left lead as they come through the corner. So that left lead's up front.
It's the tip. It's
the tip of the rope comes around. That curl comes around. That's what they'll step on and pull it off.
Not, I would say, not the backside of the loop.
Not the body of the rope. Not over there by the Honda. And that's what it was last night. It was just a freak
deal.
That's
what I figured, but I wanted to make sure that everybody else knew.
And that's why you're here. Like I say, your circus, we're the monkeys. You got to rein me in every time. Sometimes I just get beaten on the bongos and drums.
I would also like to make a very bold prediction. I feel like every time we have a contestant come on our show, they do well. And I realize that it's just nothing to do with us, but I like it. Emily in 2020, I think Matt Reeves did well after he was on with us. So I feel like there's something there.
I had a friend contact me and they said that Junior's on their fantasy team. If he legs up or horse steps in the loop again, they're calling immigration.
That's not funny. That's not funny.
I wasn't laughing. It's just a filter I have on. Oh my goodness. Oh. Well, like I said, it takes something freaky like that, the way that Junior and Caleb have been winning all year, for them to take a no time. But once again, that just that just but that green lights them to just go fast now. I mean, they're still in the top 6 in the average, but I would just say Caleb's going to grip it and rip it, and Junior is going to be, pulling back for Jesus every night, and they're going to try to be 3-5 or faster every run. But you've got a lot of them like that. I like what Joe Beaver said the other night. They need to cut Lightning's rope. Joe Beaver's watching our show because he's listening to you, Jim Boy. Give him a breakaway rope, do something, take 2 swings. Because even last night, he had a lot of rope out there and it's just not working. And now's the time to make some changes. You still got $150,000 out there and go round money, but you don't have to win first all the time. It's like, Ricky Bobby's dad said, well, hell, Ricky, they pay second, they pay third, they pay fourth, hell, they even pay fifth. You don't, if you ain't first, you're last. There's still a lot of money up for grabs to 6th place. So
here's a saying, and I tried getting this through Emily's head out there a few years ago when I left the night before the last, I left the day of the last round, and I told her, I said, just remember this. I've told you this before. Go for second, and you might win first. And I mean that's not saying safety up. Let's just be almost perfect.
Yeah. Well, I remember when I was in high school, I went to a tie down roping clinic, at Cal Poly. They had and a kid there. He said, my dad told me one time it's better to win third every time than first every 5th time. And he goes, more often than not, you're going to win first a lot more with that mentality than trying to win first every time. So
that's true.
Let's go.
Pick one event. Pick one event you guys want to talk about.
Jim,
we're really on a time frame. You're going to fine us?
Yeah, production fine
somehow.
Well, we got to talk about barrel racing and bull riding. I mean,
all right, let's do it.
Well, in the barrel racing, did y'all see Randy Macho Man Savage last night running barrel?
All I could think the whole time she was coming down the alley was like, that is going to get in the way.
Isn't that wind resistance? Isn't that cause drag?
Yeah.
Remember Jolie Lauderay?
Yeah.
I mean, she was pretty flamboyant back in her day. Good barrel racing.
I just want to know if Sid Steiner knows somebody got in his closet and got one of his coats out.
Yeah.
Well, him and Leslie were matchy that first in round 1.
Yeah.
With the flame.
Are you talking about the riding director or the barrel racer now?
Well, yeah. Okay. Who was that?
I think it was Cody Rostocki, the bull riding director. You seen him taking notes? He was taking notes last night. But yeah, I think that's who that was.
Oh, that's good stuff
Was
right
that
there.
okay? Now wait a second though. Was that on purpose or did he lose a bet?
Nah, that's just been Vegas.
Hey, that's Vegas. It's just Vegas. I mean, when we're out there for the show next year, you should see the outfits Jim Boy and I are going to wear.
Oh.
I mean, just look at how he's like, oh yeah, okay, we're not taking this thing mobile. We're just going to stay. Let's keep one in Texas, one in Kansas.
Leave your Speedos at home.
I think if Stetson Wright were to, oh hey,
can you read it yet?
I'm going to karate chop every girl I see wearing this in Vegas.
Oh my God! If Stetson Wright matched Bigfoot riding a chupacabra, Stetson Wright would win the match. That kid is just. I mean, they could run a freight train under him. He's going to mark 90 on it.
It's almost like he's just unconscious. He just does it.
Yeah. I mean, he's 87 last night, doesn't get a check in the saddle bronc riding, but he's 87. I mean, just unreal.
I want to ask you something. Watching the bull riding, have you noticed how Donnie Gay is not against the helmet as much as he used to be?
No,
I did notice.
He is coming around. I mean, it's only taken 15 years of them wearing helmets for him to not call them not cowboys. But
yeah, he used to knock on them pretty hard, and now he even made a comment. I mean, he's made a few comments this week. That helmet saved him right there, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it last night too, where it saved somebody again.
How about Jeff Askey, the way he hit the chutes, and then oh my goodness, I'm like, wow.
Okay, what's your take on that? Should he have gotten a re-ride?
I think his hand was out of the rope before he was getting bucked off.
He was getting launched.
But I didn't think that until I watched the replay like several times.
Well, that's, you can't blame it on poor lighting there, not being able to see. But next year, I got an idea. Maybe next year they should take 20 bull riders so they still have 10 for the short round. I don't know.
This is for the back.
We're down to 14.
Hey, kind of like the PBR where they got the alternates just sitting there, so somebody gets her just roll. We're going to feel it perfect. Got to have 15. So you 5 be on standby.
It might not hurt.
Tristan Hutchings last night, I mean, he gets banged up. I mean, that bull hammers him in the chute a couple times, then he just goes and stomps him for 90.5 points. Josh Frost, he is looking to repeat as your average champion. He's making a bid for it right now. Let me find it here. I got to get to the right event. Bull riding, where's it at? I mean, Stetson's winning the average, but he's only 1 point ahead of Josh. They both got 4 out of 5 ridden. Then Trey Kimsey, Trevor Castor both have 3. Kai has 3. And then Tristan Hutchings winning 6. He's got 2 bulls covered, but he's been 90 plus on both of them. So Tristan hasn't ridden many, but the 2 he's ridden has been, he got damn near 60,001. So, woo. As a whole, halfway through the rodeo, what do you guys think? I think it's been a pretty – the top 15 in the world is showcasing their talent for sure. Typical NFR, you've had some highs and lows and some speed bumps come along the way, but it's been a very entertaining finals for sure. And like I said, the drama's just unfolding because we all know round 5 can have some bumps, but round 9 is when the weird voodoo stuff happens. And so that's on the horizon. We got that coming.
Yeah, I mean, as far as production side of it is concerned, I will be brutally honest here. I really appreciate what the Cowboy Channel has done and been able to bring to us so much easier. I also think by the third year that the kinks would be worked out. I had some login issues yesterday when we were on the road, and I couldn't get it to load on my computer, but I could watch it on my phone. So I don't really think it was because of where we were, but there's some things on their back end that I don't know.
There's logistics. There's logistics and stuff and I think it's platforms that they're streaming on that, the bandwidth and some of that stuff. So that's kind of what I think also. And I think also, like, we're talking about the production side of it, and it is great because like we all remember the time where you wait until 9 o'clock on ESPN for it to come on. It's been delayed for 2 hours. And you're up till midnight. And this is before social media where you could get on and see what's going on in real time anyways. But, you waited and you watched it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, the Cowboy Channel has so much content now. It's almost like I don't know. We know what it takes to produce this show. And when I say Jimbo and I, we mean Heidi knows what it takes to produce it. All Jimbo and I do is log in. But there's a lot of logistics to go in. So they've got so many moving parts, and they've got the pre-show and the post-show and the entertainment and tailgate what's going on. That sometimes the main production, which is the rodeo, I'm not going to say gets lost in the shuffle, but it kind of gets lost in the shuffle. You hear Justin McKee. He leaves the pre-show, and then he fights traffic to get across town to Resort World or wherever for the post-show with Ty McClary. And then, there's so much going on. But like I say, at the same time, as frustrating as it can be, we've come so far in the rodeo world to where we get to enjoy the NFR live every night. And, I mean, that was one thing I thought for years, especially when they were live streaming it into the casinos for 10 years, man, they need to be able to take this to the NFR, the arena feed to the homes, because I would love to watch that. Now, mind you, that has been glitching from day one at our house, the arena feed. So we're just going to the production TV feed.
So I watched the arena feed about halfway through one night, halfway through the rodeo, and I felt like I was getting more crowd views than I wanted. So we went back to the broadcast feed. I mean, I think it's fun to see who's there, but I don't also really care who's there. I want to watch the rodeo. So we stopped watching the arena feed.
And what's funny is, nothing against the two announcers that are there, 3 this year, they're great, but without Tallman on the mic, I mean,
it is a little different.
It's a little different, and so I don't need the arena feed as much as just because Tallman's infinite wisdom and his Tallmanisms make the rodeo interesting. You get Boyd Polhamus and Bob Tallman together, and you don't even – I mean, it could be a 12-point ride, and they're going to make it exciting just because that's just those guys. So
okay, one more comment. I can't remember it had to have been saddle bronc riding. Very rarely do we hear from Butch or Jeff comments about scores, and Butch made a comment last night. It was short and quick, but he clearly did not agree with the score that was handed out. And I was like, oh. Whoa,
I've noticed them doing it more this year with, I mean, they did it clear back to the Crossfire call, Rockers ride. I mean, a few times they've been more opinionated on not agreeing with the judges.
Which I think is fine. That's real.
I mean, in any other pro sports, you hear, Troy Aikman and Joe Buck. Well, I don't think that was a penalty. That wasn't pass interference. So I think the commentators should have a little bit of leeway to make those comments. And
I don't remember hearing that from them in the past.
No, this year they've been more open about it, but their fan base is knowledgeable too, and they know that. And so they're we want new fans. We want new fans on this show, and Heidi has to, bridle me up, check me up, slow me down so I can explain what I'm talking about a little bit more. But also the fans that we have are returning fans, people that know rodeo, especially on the Cowboy Channel, they see it and they like hearing come from the announcers that they're not the only ones seeing, hey, I think that guy should have been marked more. So I think they're doing a good job. I mean, everything can tighten up. I mean, we've all been on the production side of rodeos, the CNFR, different rodeos. So we're looking at it through a different lens than a lot of people too. Mm-hmm. But I'm also one of the biggest armchair quarterbacks in the events too. I mean, the best meme I saw was it said, 5+ healers sitting on the couch eating Cheetos saying, I could have healed that one on the first hop, Yeah. And it's just social media, the Cowboy Channel with all the avenues to watch rodeo, social media, people can interact. I mean, we saw it last night where I don't want to get into it, but I mean, there was a definite divide of you were either for or against. And it's just, me, I just want to be Switzerland. I'm neutral. I'm going to have an opinion on both sides. And the memes that came out were great. I mean, there were some great memes and it's entertaining. And there's people that I highly respect that we differ greatly on our views on stuff. But hey, we can agree to disagree and still be friends and have fun with it. But
okay, I do have to say this. Did you see the
cat
and
meme?
I have a question. The meme about the new pickup line?
Yes. There was that one. Hey,
Boy, did
hey,
you
you
see it?
Rocker Finer because you
Are
fine
you
or
Rocker?
whatever.
Yeah, is your name Rocker Steiner? Because you're looking fine.
And that was good. And then there was another one.
Bad
The other
joke.
one that I saw was, you know the cat meme with the girl screaming and then the cat's. The other one says, it says, you know, above the girl screaming, it said, Rocker Steiner, what do you bleeping want from me? And then the cat says, for you to ride up to the score you think you deserve or something. I mean, it was just, people were just coming at it both ways. And
yes.
and
So I do have a real question. It's not in the comments, but somebody texted me. What is your, give me your take on Zeke and Womanizer tonight? I assume that's what it means. Was that last night?
She would have, yeah, that would have been. Oh, that was last night, wasn't it?
I think so.
Oh, what did that ride look like?
I'm getting more. Oh.
Gotta get to the right event.
Did you do that?
I didn't do it.
He's 86.5.
Oh, gotcha. He said that's the one that Butch commented on.
That he might not have been enough.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good horse. I don't know if she had her usual trip. Not saying that she has to, you know.
Right.
I think she wasn't as strong as what we've seen her in the past. Because that was one that jumped out at me yesterday when I was picking a team. I was like, that's a pretty good matchup right there. But that was, yeah, I just don't, if I remember right, it'd take me a little bit to pull it up and watch it again. But if I remember right, she just wasn't
as strong as she usually
is.
is.
And when I say that, them judges, they've watched not these horses, you know, they've seen them probably, but they've marked rides all year long, from college rodeos to pro rodeos to the NFR. And if that horse misses once or twice kicking out and extending out, and I'm not saying coming up under their belly, I'm saying kicking out, they're going to dock them, you know, or if that guy doesn't set his feet quite high enough or whatever, you know, they're going to dock them.
All right. Well, I hate to cut off the good time, but I do actually have to work today.
Yeah, my phone's been blowing up. I don't know what people want from me. Probably, I think it's the Cowboy Channel probably telling us to cease and desist because we're.
One last thing, if there's any contestants that need me to take a Tawaka bomb shot for them for the rodeo night, it worked for Jed Corkle. That's
Clayton Bigelow, Wyatt Casper, Kai Hamilton, Riley Webb, and Bailey Choda in the barrel race. So 5. You need 5 Tawaka bombs, please, tonight for my team.
Send pictures.
I'm going to charge $5 a shot, though.
Hey. I feel like that's not enough.
hey, you're hurting me, my pocketbook.
That's a lot.
All right. Well, like I say, halftime's over, guys, and we're getting ready to kick off round number 6 tonight, and a lot of things will shape up and round into form. So this has been fun. I've enjoyed the first half of the finals and doing these shows with you guys. And I'm excited about the next 6 shows.
Awesome. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. We are super excited to get together. You know, we try really hard to have guests on here, and sometimes it doesn't work and you get stuck with the 3 of us. But as you can tell, we still have a good time. So we do have some other guests that we're working on, and we'll try to post that as we get confirmation. Until tomorrow, you guys, make sure you get your Pro Fantasy teams in and have a wonderful day.